Welcome back to the class, everyone. Today we are going to be doing just a video, not a different series, unfortunately, and really that's kind of the result of what we're trying to do here. So before we get to the footage of what we got, and we do have footage, I want to talk a little bit about the Inquisitorius. So what we're trying to really do here, what we were trying to do, is we were trying to create a pretty similar series as what I did with the Bad Batch. For those who are unfamiliar, when Bad Batch originally came out, they were going to be a really, really long farm, and I wanted to see if they were viable at Gear 11 across the board. It was something we did, and something we actually had a ton of success with. They were at Gear 11, they were able to take out a ton of different teams, like First Order, or Geonosians, or even in some very specific cases, General Grievous. That being said, we know that the Inquisitors, they're each kind of made, custom built, to beat certain Jedi leaders. Second Sister is made to beat Jedi Knight Revan, the Ninth Sister is made to beat Jedi Knight Luke, and so on and so forth. So I wanted to see if them loaded up at Gear 11, maybe with some of their Zetas. I wasn't going to really try the Omicron just because those are so wildly specific and such a rare material right now. I can't really afford to do that, but I was able to take them all to Gear 11 to see what we could get there. But just to see if they have what it takes to be able to beat something without being fully fledged higher gear. So that being said, let's go ahead and get to the footage. If you want to slow this down, the video, you can see the mods on all these characters. But first off, we're going to be taking our Inquisitorius team against a Gear 11, 12, and Relict Jedi Knight Revan. And if you are going slow enough right now to see all the mods on these characters, they're not very good. We were in testing for about a week or two. I mean, I think that Bastila had about 18 speed. And I kept having to fall harder and harder and harder in Squad Arena to be able to test this out against teams where we kind of would have a chance. And this is why this isn't turning into a series, because even going up against a team with like an not an R6, but a 6-star GK and a team with terrible mods, this team just really falls short. And I think there's a few reasons for that. And I want to also explain a few things that I don't think this means. So first off, I think the big difference between Bad Batch and the Inquisitorius here is that, different from Bad Batch, the Inquisitorius needs to do damage the traditional way. They don't really have a lot of outside factors like courage that would just chew through things, or a ton of exposed damage. They do have a little bit of exposes, I believe. Or Echo's unique made all debuffs cut through, max protection, max health. Bad Batch also had true damage. Inquisitorius, at least at this time, without the Grand Inquisitor, and if you have the Grand Inquisitor, you don't have this team at Gear 11, so that's really kind of a null point. You don't really get any of that, and you can see here there's just some other issues with the team. Like, they don't really have a lot of stacking offense. They don't have a lot of key defense things. Like, the idea of everyone gets marked and then everyone gets bonus defense from the mark from Second Sister's unique, it's nice in theory, but it's just not going to be enough. I think this team might... Yeah, in all honesty, I think in TW, if you did have the Omicron, you probably have an okay chance against the Jedi Knight Revan team, which is really, really sad. Like, you would think that after you put the Omicron, it would be something like Iden. Like, you take Iden against Mon Mothma, GAC, it's not even close. Like, you destroy that team from top to bottom. You can do it with, like, your 8s against Relic characters. But yeah, the Inquisitorius, they fall really short. There's no way that you're really going to be able to use that against a full-fledged team. So we saw kind of how they did against Second Sister against Jedi Knight Revan. Now we're going to just to kind of, I guess, prove my point, or just show, not really to prove my point, but to show everything that we're trying to do here. We're going to go ahead and take our Inquisitors up against this really bad Shaak Ti team that doesn't even have 5s. Because as Second Sister was made to beat Jedi Knight Revan, Fifth Brother was made to beat Shaak Ti. And I think these are probably, out of the 5, are the most common leads that you would be able to see in JAC or Territory Wars for that battle. And we do show the mods for our characters here, so if you want to know them for either battle, that's where they are. But again, this is very similar to the Jedi Knight Revan team in here. We go in, and some of them are like, okay, like I guess Rex has 100 speed. It's not good. It's also not terrible, but some of them are just, yeah, Echo has like 61 speed, and I think one of them, I can't remember if it's Code, I think it's Arc. Yeah, we get into there with Arc, and he has like plus 16, very similar to Bastila. So again, this isn't even like, they don't have a ton more gear than we do. We're working with gear 11 here. Granted, they have more stars, but like, this is a gear 12 team. We should, for a team that is made to beat that one, even without the Omicron, we should have some type of chance against them, you would think. But we get in there, and I actually ran this battle a couple times, and you can see a lot of the synergy that the Fifth Brother and the Inquisitorius has against Shakti in general. But it just goes back to the fact that at least right now, without the Grand Inquisitor, they're really kind of hosed without their without having another way to survive other than just raw stats, like raw defense or raw protection or raw offense. Because I mean, at the lower gear levels, they don't have it, and they don't have another mechanic that helps them catch up, like we saw with Bad Batch, especially for recovery wise too. The Inquisitors just don't have a lot to recover from. So I'm a little weary to see how they'll do in GAC overall. I don't know if my expectations are too high. I know they're going to clearly be built for territory wars, and that's fine, I guess. But at the same time, this isn't like, again, going back to the example of Iden, like Iden destroys Mon Mothma, the team that she was built to beat in GAC, with the Omicron being super under gear. Like, this isn't even close. But again, I guess we need to wait and see. We need to see how good the Grand Inquisitor is, and how good really his lead is going to be. What is his leader's unique? What is that going to change? How is that going to impact it? Because this is not great. This is not great. But so there it is, for you guys to see. Make your own judgments. But if you were thinking of gearing up the Inquisitor so that you would have some type of team that could beat something, maybe if they posted garbage or something like that, or a cleanup team to beat like a few Jedi, they just don't cut it. They cannot do it. I mean, if you want to, spend and relic them up to get into Lord Vader, that's an option. But I don't know how to say it. The inadequately geared Inquisitorius is not viable, at least not in the sense that our badly geared Bad Batch was. So kind of a sad video to make, but thanks for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and as always, stay awesome.